Hello, Sweet Tooth here. I hope your day is going well. I'm going to play a game called Always Remember Me. I have no idea what it's about, so let's find out. By Winter Wolves. That's me. Alright. Alright. We were walking together, hand in hand, watching as the sun descended beneath the horizon. The evening was wearing on, and the warm colors of twilight were starting to fade from the sky. I don't know what to do. You're doing enough. Don't worry about things so much. But he still doesn't approve of me. Do you think he doesn't like my job? Maybe he thinks it doesn't earn enough money. Or that I should be doing something better. I would like to do more, but it's the best part-time job I could find. His eyes were sympathetic as he looked down at my worried expression. I know he feels bad that his father, Osher, was creating so much grief for us, but I also knew that the situation was going to be difficult when I decided to stay with him. I don't think it's your work. He can be pretty stubborn. I know some people think that I could do better. It's not like a job at an ice cream parlor is anything special. I am attending my first year of college for creative writing. It's a natural fit since I've always loved to write poetry and prose. I had to take a part-time job during the summer to pay for my studies. Some girls in my classes have really good summer jobs. Honestly, I don't think he'd approve of any girl without a lot of persuading first. I don't think it's anything personal, he's just being stubborn. Yes, but after all this time, I really thought that he would have warmed up to me by now. He just doesn't understand that we're serious about our relationship. Or he doesn't want to understand. It's just so exasperating since everyone else has been so supportive of us. He'll come around eventually. It's just a matter of time. I hope so. I just wish he wouldn't object almost every time he finds out we're going out on a date. I know, but it'll get better soon, I promise. We reached the staircase that led back to the boardwalk and parking lot. Even over the sand dunes, I could see where Aaron's motorcycle was parked. We were about to descend the stairs when he stopped and turned around to face me. He took my other hand in his and leaned down gently, kissing me on the lips. I couldn't help but smile slightly, feeling my anxiety melt away. Don't look so worried all the time, okay? You're much more beautiful when you're smiling, Amy. He returned the smile, leaned up to kiss him again. You're such a romantic. You make it sound like a bad thing. We both laughed as we descended the stairs, still hand in hand. This is definitely how it should be. I always feel so safe with him at my side. Let's go home, alright? Okay, but can we stop for ice cream first? I get an employee discount on everything, you know. Sure. They have the best new type of ice cream sundae now. We should split one. Sounds good. My smile grew brighter as pleasant thoughts passed through my mind. He mounted his motorcycle and I sat on the back, wrapping my arms around his middle and holding on tightly. I rested my hand against his broad shoulders and let a contented sigh escape my lips as the engine started up. The sun disappeared beneath the horizon and the darkness of night began to overtake the sky. We sped out of the parking lot in less than a minute and onto the nearly empty road that led back into town. Here's 2 ice cream. Why don't you just take those? Break the fourth wall and grab these. The trees blurred as we flew down the road. We were only driving for a short while before the strange feeling of foreboding settled over me. I shivered involuntarily, despite the warm temperature, and squeezed Aaron tightly, watching as it got darker and darker on the one-way road. I was thinking of what to make for us for breakfast in the morning when we reached an intersection. We waited patiently for the light to change color, and when the green circle let off its artificial glow, Aaron resumed driving. We had just entered the intersection when, very suddenly, I heard it. What? I looked up, eyes wide with confusion, to see another car barreling down the road, swerving back and forth as it approached us. Uh-oh. Aaron tried to steer away from the oncoming vehicle, but there was no hope of evasion. The car made no attempt to brake as it passed through the red light and collided with us. All I remembered before the hellacious sound of the crash and losing consciousness was Aaron turning the motorcycle to try and protect me from being directly hit. When I opened my eyes, the brightness of the lights above me were almost blinding. Though I had never spent very much time in a hospital, I recognized the scent of a disinfectant and various other cleaners to be similar to what one smelled in a doctor's office. Where am I? It took me another moment of waiting for my eyes to adjust to the bright lights before I remembered what happened. My eyes widened in horror at the vividness of the memory. Aaron? I sat up abruptly, feeling a dull ache when I moved. A nurse out in the hallway heard my sudden cry and quickly hurried inside my room. Miss, please lay back down. What does this stand for? You weren't seriously injured in the crash, but we would like you to rest before we decide if you're ready to be released. I will be looking after you until that time comes. Your injuries are minimal, only minor bruising, but we can't let you leave just yet. We were in a car accident, right? That's correct. But please lay back down. We're very glad to see you conscious, but rest is imperative. I reluctantly laid back down, but I was completely awake and not letting the woman leave. The women? There's only one woman. Women leave before I heard a proper explanation. Can you tell me what happened? What about the man who was with me? Aaron, is he okay? The nurse's expression seemed to darken slightly when I mentioned him, which made me worry even more. What happened? I have to know. I'm not fully aware of the situation. I need to call Dr. Rayner. He can explain everything to you. I waited impatiently, dissatisfied with the nurse's quick departure. It only took a few moments for a handsome young man in a doctor's uniform to enter the room. I was surprised to see that he wasn't all that much older than Aaron, and I most likely a fresh graduate out of medical school. Good evening, Amy. I'm very glad to see you're awake. My name's Eddie Rayner, but you can call me Eddie. The man said with a warm smile, revealing perfectly white teeth. Yes. Good evening. What time is it? Is it still Saturday? Maybe. Actually, it's technically Sunday. No, it's really Saturday right now. It's 3 in the morning. I'd be happy to answer your questions, but you should probably get back to bed soon. I'm not doing anything until I find out what happened to Aaron. The young doctor's smile faded, his reaction much like the nurse's. Unable to hold back my growing worry, I found myself starting to yell as tears gathered in my eyes. I have to know what happened to him. Please, is he all right? Eddie stood up and nodded toward the door, motioning for me to follow. I felt my heart sink, then began to fill with cold dread. He noticed the fear in my expression and gave me a brief explanation. I'd rather show you his current condition, but I assure you, he's fine and his life is in no danger. He has sustained a head injury. He will recover, and it doesn't seem to have done any severe damage, but he has lost some of his memories. We're still trying to observe the specifics of just what he has forgotten. As the nurse probably told you, your injuries are minimal. Please follow me. I can take you to him so you can see that he is all right. I hurried, pulling on a pair of slippers that had been left beside my bed, and followed after the young doctor as he led me out of the hospital into the hallway, listening attentively to every word he said. There you go. There's one big run-on sentence. From what I can tell, he was trying to protect you during the crash. We're keeping you overnight for observations. Wink, wink. But other than some bruises, you're perfectly okay. You don't have any broken bones or severe internal bleeding, thanks to Aaron's efforts. Yeah, that's funny. I felt my heart wrench as I followed him through the hallways. He wasn't always very quickly, apparently conscientious of how tired I felt. Aaron. From what we can tell, Aaron is suffering from amnesia. He still retains long-term memories, but recent ones from the past few years are hazy or non-existent. Are we still in the intro? Because this is taking a long time. This is taking a very long time. He's quite a bit confused at the moment, so we want to be sure not to cause him any unnecessary emotional stress. Am I playing a game or reading a book? We need to regain his memory on his own, but it will be in slow steps. I see. This is my studio. I know this is a lot to take in, so please feel free to ask me any questions you might have. You're a doctor. Put on a smile so that other people can get positivity from you. He still remembers his family, but he doesn't seem to recall anything from recent years. You mean he doesn't remember me? I'm sorry. We asked him about having a girlfriend, but he doesn't seem to remember anyone by the name of Amy. That son of a bit. I felt the tears I'd been determined not to cry welling up again, ready to fall. I see. I'll just have to grab this pillow and... We walked through a doorway and into a room with a glass window that let me into Aaron's room. And he, as well, had a glum expression just like everybody else, except for this little picture on the left. I'm sorry to ask this of you, but since we don't want to cause him any grief or aggravate his condition, I must ask you that you do not meet with him yet. He is very confused and needs rest. I understand. I remained there for a long time, watching him and letting tears silently slip down my cheeks as two nurses spoke to Aaron, who wore a perplexed expression. How could you forget all about me? Where am I? What's going on? Wow, that was a weird transition. You can move between locations using the map. Right now you can only return back to your home, but later in the game you'll be able to move where you want. Your home. You live with Aunt Gwenda and your cat Nina. The town's biggest park is beautiful. You often go there to relax and think. During summer, you work in this ice cream parlor to pay for your studies. The town's library, one of your favorite places. The town's gym. It's expensive, but has lots of training equipment, including a pool. A trendy disco pub where you can eat, dance, eat, and drink. The hospital where Aaron is resting. Nothing else? How come there's so many gazebos? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 gazebos? Wow. And the music stopped. Why did the music stop? Alright, anyways, back to your home. I was released from the hospital in the morning and came right home. When I walked inside, I was greeted with a soft meow when my cat, Nina, brushed up against my leg. Hi, Nina, did you miss me? I smiled and reached down to pet her affectionately, though I couldn't help but remember how Aaron would always fuss over her. Nina was a great judge of character, and she adored Aaron, even before he started bringing treats for her all the time. Wow, that's a creepy-looking cat. Aaron always loved cats so much. He loved big cats and little cats like you, but you were always, oh my gosh, look at his eyes. But you were always his favorite kitty. I'd call it Spook, because he spooks everyone. Nina cuddles my fingers affectionately, and now he's just staring. Everybody kind of just stares. Nobody blinks or anything. When I fell down to pick her up, just pictures. Everything's a picture. But Aaron has probably forgotten about you too. The sadness I had been trying to keep out of the front of my mind returned as I pulled my cat into an embrace inside. I had slept very poorly, and the fatigue from the crash hadn't worn off. I lost my parents in a car accident, and now it looks like I'm going to lose the man I love so one as well. Well, maybe somebody that can drive should do it. Why has everybody got a glum look? I sat in the living room with Nina on my lap when Gwenda came in to comfort me. Oh, Amy, what happened? I briefly tell her about the accident. She was overjoyed to know that I was all right and that I had hardly been hurt. Oh, thank God, you're okay. But why didn't you call me? The doctor said I was all right, and I didn't want you to worry about me. Can I play the game yet? I had been staying with my Aunt Gwenda for, oh my gosh, that cat's creeping me out. Aunt Gwenda for several years, since my parents passed away when I was still young. Gwenda had taken care of me ever since. She is a kind woman, and I greatly appreciated how caring she had always been to me. However, her pension wasn't enough to fully pay for my college tuition, which is why I took the part-time job at the ice cream parlor. You can now make your first choice. Okay, game, thank you for letting me know. Several icons will pop up showing all the possible actions in this location. Why don't I just save before that? On each icon, you'll see a brief description and the effects of the action. Each choice consumes at least one turn of game time. One turn being this up here, I think. Okay. Some actions are available only during certain periods of the day. For example, Aunt Gwenda goes to bed very early, so you won't find her hanging around at late hours. It's now noon, so a good thing to do could be to eat something. Or you can just relax and read a book. Talk to Gwenda. Read old book. Cook something. Well, talk to Gwenda. Yes, my dear, what's troubling you? Aaron doesn't remember me at all, and the doctors say they don't want to give him too much stress since it might make him forget more, or make it harder for him to remember what he has forgotten. Honey, I'm sure he'll remember you soon enough. You're the love of his life. The two of you were so close, the cutest little lovebirds in town. It's just these past few years that he's forgotten, though. What if he doesn't recover? Then you'll just make him love you again. Really? You think that would work? I'm so afraid that we might never be together again. We have so many precious memories, and to think that he doesn't remember any of them. It's not about living in the past too much, it's that you can actually create new good memories. I couldn't help but shudder at the thought. I mean, just go back to the guy and make new good memories. You'll be able to do it. In the absolute worst case scenario, you just have to start off from square one again. Even if his mind doesn't recall the memories you two shared, his heart will still love you. Not even amnesia can erase that. True. You're right. Thank you, Auntie. I feel a little bit better now. Of course. That's what family's for. Now go out and do the mob work.
Yeah!
Alright.
Yay!
Amy, I've prepared your favorite cake. Thanks, Gwenda, but I'd like to stay alone for a while and rest, okay? I didn't sleep very well at the hospital. I had too much on my mind. That's fine. Get some rest. You can eat a piece of cake tomorrow morning before going to work. Good night, Gwenda. I went to my bedroom with Nina in my arms and sat down at the desk. I don't want to see that cat. The cat freaks me out. I picked that notebook up and decided to try and get my feelings under control in the most familiar way I knew, writing about them. I picked up a pen and started writing a poem. Your gentle touch, the warmth of your embrace, the passion of your kiss, precious times that felt ever so divine. I thought that they would never leave, but even though I can't reach you anymore, I can't open my eyes to find you there. I'll always have my memories. Though they are not as warm as the hands that always made me feel so safe, I know they will never disappear as you now have. My beloved, my heart is forever yours, even if you're lost, beyond where my trembling voice can reach you. Even if your memories fade or disappear into the darkness, I'll never forget the precious times when we faced the world together. My beloved, for today, for tomorrow, for the days that may never return, never forget the words we once exchanged. I love you. When I woke that morning, I knew that I had to go to the ice cream parlor. It was Sunday and I had a long shift to attend to, and you looked really pissed about it. Wow. Yeah. Alright, return. Yeah, I considered calling out, but knowing that they would understand if I explained the situation, but decided it would be best to go in anyway. Anyways, I'm going to leave the video off right there. I'll pick it up in the next one. I want to thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment. I hope you have yourself a good day. So then this is Sweet Tooth, signing off. I love you.